Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for XRP. Now in this video we're going to take a look at the daily time frame as well as the micro counts, talk about how we can fail from here and how we can actually recover. So first of all, out on a daily chart, and still have this as a multi-year triangle. For an idealized version, it is right here in the upper left corner, looking for a triangle patterns with lower lows, higher highs, come to a point in a contracting manner, and continuation of the trend, which is to the upside. In this scenario, it's A, B, C, D, E. You can still see we're still holding above 38.23 cents. Now, invalidation of the triangle is below this C wave at 28.72 cents. Now, it was a really nasty sell-off. I'm actually surprised XRP was able to hold when Bitcoin made new lows. So it is showing quite a bit of resilience. And I want to talk about how we can recover from this area. Important to note, we must hold that 38.23 cents to keep today's count we're talking about intact. So we'll go down to the hourly. That's the E wave right here. Okay, so this is the count we've been going with since the low. And that is that we had a wave 1, 2, 1, 2 with a running flat, 3, 4, 5 for our third. We actually came to our second extension target at the 2.618. We then got our fourth wave as a triangle and a short fifth wave. It did not reach the one-to-one extension of wave 1 off of wave 4, but we do have a clean 5-wave move, as you can see, for our top, which made a higher high above the third. So a very nice overall impulse completed. Now, we did hold our low, one of the few coins that did. So it was quite resilient to hold in this area. A lot of the altcoins may do lows. This is one that held. And I want to discuss if I think a bottom is in here. It's possible, but in a certain corrective manner. Now, when we look for wave 2s, let me put all this on. When we look for wave 2s, where this is a larger 1 and 2, we look between the 382 and the 786 to hold. You can see we're right in that zone, so we have a fine wave 2. The issue comes in the time. Now, it's not a rule, but a guideline, but this was a very fast sell-off and not ideal the amount of time that has passed to correct this entire 5-wave move. Usually look between a 618 and a 1-to-1 in time. So we were expecting this correction to take quite a bit of time, something more like this. And I use the general rule at least 30% to get. That's just a personal guideline I use that works most times than not. When we get a short correction, I can at least lean into the fact that 30% is okay. It's unlikely, but it's reasonable enough to have a bottom in that area. I ideally want that 618 into the 1-to-1 time. So you say, okay, so we have a 3-wave move down as an ABC. Let me zoom in here. We have a 3-wave move down as an ABC. You can see my labeling here. It actually turned out pretty nice. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 with a flat. And then we got a short B wave, and we got a wave 1, 2. We got 5 waves down for our third, fourth, and fifth. So nice ABC. As per targeting, our A wave came to basically a 1.382. We wicked through for an extension for our C wave, which is fine. That's a common target. The most common is the 1-to-1, but that's fine. So the question is that enough time to pass? Now, my bias in this scenario when this happens, just talking from experience, is this is most likely, in my experience, an A wave. Now, the issue with that is if this is an A wave, we expect a B and a C, right? Or a WXY. The issue with that is we've come too low to expect a C wave in a regular correction. So we're at that 786. So if we are to recover in this area, I would suggest we're most likely going to make some sort of flat. Now, I talk about these in bullish markets. This is how we can recover correctively. So we take our extension from our A wave, our ABC, and we put on the 1.236 and the 382. Which is right this zone here. Invalidation, where I would change this from being a B wave, is past that 1.618 at 85.48 cents. And all that means is if we keep extending up here, I would say, okay, this was our 1-2 and we're on our third wave. That would change my labeling. But because of this amount of time, I've seen this over and over when markets are turning, that this becomes a B wave as a simple zigzag ABC 535. We then get a 3 or 5 wave partner leg here, but we protect this low. And this becomes the correction that gives us the right amount of time we want, and we continue on for our third wave. So this is how I see us recovering. And it's a very tradable wave. Just looking for a simple zigzag. Now it can get more complex, but more often than not we get just a simple zigzag. So I'm looking for this to turn into 5 waves. Now, if we make a new low, that opens us up to the possibility, once we pass that 786, it becomes very low probability that this is a wave 2. So if we make some sort of triangle, come down for a new low, this looks like a wave A or wave 1 to the downside. And this is where we would invalidate our triangle. So what I'm planning to do is I'll be tracking on the 15-minute, looking for a 5-wave move. So if this turns into a 5-wave move, I'll look to play the correction after. And this is an A wave, B wave. I'll be looking to trade the C wave long, targeting that 1-to-1. And I'll take my profit here, expecting a correction for that C wave. So I'm going to wait and let this play out and look for that C wave trade. Now, it doesn't mean you can't scalp in these areas if you get a nice setup. I do that all the time, but it's not good enough for our videos. It just happens too quickly. I'd be down on the 3-minute time frame. Now, if you're more risk adverse and you believe in this coin and you call this a C wave bottom, you can just buy in this area, stop at that low at 38.28 cents. Or if you are convinced that's a low, the stop can go there. I personally am waiting for the C wave trade. There's other things I'm scalping and trading. This is not one I want to actively trade until we get an A wave complete, and I'll trade for the C wave to the upside. But that's how I see it playing out. Either we come down, make this a 5-wave move, it becomes an A or a 1 to the downside, or we recover here. It's an ABC, look for that partner leg that completes a very bullish structure. That is extremely bullish if we get that to the upside after. And we look for that long after, but I'll make sure to update all this stuff as we go. Now, we were tracking this scenario too. I haven't updated this one, but that is where our 5th wave actually ended over here. And this was an ABC, which would have to be a WXY now, a 333. I don't like this one as the low in, which does meet our time guideline, but our extension was pretty extreme. It was basically the most extreme extension we ever get for Y wave, which was like the 2.618 extension. So I put that low probability. The only way I would suggest that is what's happening is if we got some sort of 1, 2, and we got that third that invalidated that B wave above, then I would relabel this most likely a 1, 2 this way. All right, guys, so that's it for XRP. Looks good. Very impressed that it was that resilient, but I'll make sure to update this and update these counts as we go. But that's it for XRP. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.